What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports, and that is a tough pill to swallow, I guess you can say, in Game 2, but I do say overall, technically it did do what we asked, win one and split the first two games in Houston to send you back to Citizens Bank Park for home field advantage, to try to win the series at home and lift that World Series trophy in front of your home crowd, because honestly, you don't want to go back to Houston, but that's something I'll get down later in the line. You lose this game 5-2. Zack Wheeler struggled, and that brings some concerns for your top two guys in the rotation. Nola yesterday struggled mightily against Kyle Tucker. They knocked him for 5 runs. Today, Zack Wheeler really struggled with the top of the Astros lineup. Altuve gets 3 hits in this game, basically going into that bottom of the first inning. The first 2 pitches of the game doubles down the line, and all of a sudden there's a 1-0 game. Then Alvarez barely misses a home run. It goes right off the middle of the wall, scores another run. And then, a sacrifice to center field, Matt Vierling in center field today, who started this game, with the lefty Framber Valdez on the mound. I guess Rob Thompson decided to go with 2 righties in the lineup in the back end with Matt Vierling in center field and Edmundo Sosa at shortstop. We'll get into Edmundo in a couple of seconds here. Fly ball goes from Kyle Tucker, goes right to Matt Vierling. Yordan Alvarez tags up, and maybe not the best throw in the world from Matt Vierling. He kind of looked nonchalant about, getting that fly ball. Alvarez goes to third base, and then a routine ground ball that should have ended the inning 2-0 for the Astros turns into a 3-0 lead because a poor throw by Edmundo Sosa in the dirt, and also Rhys Hoskins with another poor scoop attempt. So both can be true in that aspect. Edmundo Sosa needs to make a much better throw. Honestly, I think Bryce makes a much better throw to end off that inning. And also, Rhys Hoskins needs to make that scoop to end the inning. It just needs to be way better defensively. It just does. That little lapse by Vierling, and also that play by Sosa and Hoskins needs to be better. It's a difference from a 2-0 lead to a 3-0 lead. And then eventually, Alex Bregman goes deep. And then Framber Valdez on the other side for the Astros. You definitely did work some at-bats. I thought there were some pretty nice at-bats throughout this game. But he was nasty. He was dealing. And then there's a bunch of all this stuff on Twitter, social media, talking about, everyone thinks Framber was cheating on the mound because, there were so many clips of him, rubbing his wrists and everything like that, touching his brim of his hat, touching his hair, constantly switching his gloves and everything like that. So with the Astros in their, background, they're not going to get anything of the benefit of the doubt there. And also, you saw nonchalantly on the broadcast that they brought up that yesterday Maldonado used an illegal bat in the game yesterday. So it just came off as very nonchalant. And we're just like, excuse me? He used an illegal bat yesterday? How does that get by? But at the end of the day, it is what it is. The Astros lost yesterday and the Phillies won yesterday. Today, the Astros win. They tied a series. It's tied 1-1, going back to Philadelphia for Game 3 Monday night on Halloween. I'm expecting a mega-packed Citizens Bank Park. Haven't seen a World Series since 2009. I'm expecting that crowd to be rocking. I'm expecting that crowd to go bulldoze on the Astros every time they're up the plate, every time they're pitching. So it's going to be a wild atmosphere there, and we got to see if this Astros team is prepared for it. But it just wasn't the Phillies' night, especially when you go into the later stages of this game. Specifically, that Kyle Schwarber at bat, what was it, the 7th inning? 7th, 8th inning? Are you kidding? What are the odds? What are the odds of that Kyle Schwarber at bat? Because are you joking? He crushes a ball that looks like, at first, goes right by the foul pole and was a fair ball. Announcers called it a home run. Umpires called it a home run, on the field during the play. And then they converse, and then they call it a foul ball. Replay was very close, but at the end of the day, it did look foul. Then Kyle Schwarber hit another one to the moon that died right at the warning track. Seriously, what are the odds? It dies right at the warning track. Kyle Tucker just reaches up over the wall and grabs it. Are you serious? What are the odds of that? What are the odds of that happening in any universe? Kyle Schwarber crushes a foul ball that was barely foul, and then he hits oh my God. Like, are you serious? And then you get that mental lapse between Altuve and Pena at second base during, what was it, the Castellanos at bat, I believe, or the Bowman? No, it was the JT at bat. And then Bryce Harper hits one of the no man's land, and then somehow Pena makes the grab to end off the inning. That right there, I'm just like, okay, it's not our night. So, overall, there are certain positives that I will take from this game. You did show fight. You didn't just roll over and die again. So there is that ability that you don't die. You're still fighting till the very end, and that's something that's good. Your offense eventually does get going. It was just Framber was that nasty in this game, and you were able, when you see some arms for a little bit, maybe, you get some sight in there. But I think at the end of the day, we got to stop platooning Bryce and Stott. He needs to be in the lineup every day. Brandon Marsh needs to be in the lineup every day. We got to stop platooning these guys. Got to stop platooning these guys. And then and also concern-wise, stray away from the positives for a little bit. But also, let's bring up another positive before we get into the concerns. Bullpen has actually been pretty good in these two games. Flat out dominant, honestly. Yesterday, the bullpen came up really huge with your top guys there. And then your bullpen today with using the front-end guys after Zack Wheeler came out into this ball game in the fifth inning. Bellotti, Brogdon, Hand, they were all pretty solid in this game. So, your bullpen is a bright side for your pitching standpoint. But here comes the concern, i.e. Zack Wheeler and Aaron Nola. Zack Wheeler, you could tell from the get-go he didn't have the same velocity that he had in his past so many starts. So is it that knee that he took the line drive in Game 5 against San Diego? Is that coming back to bother him, and it's more of a concern than they're letting on? And I understand at this point, it's the playoffs, it's the World Series. You're going to play through an injury at this point. Zack Wheeler's velocity wasn't the same as it was in the past so many games. It was topping out at 96, 97, where the other games it was topping out 97 to 99. At the start of the game, it was 96, 97, then it started going back to the 95, 94 earlier on. And then you saw right from the get-go, the Astros are jumping all over the fastball, first pitch, second pitch, third pitch, whatever, in that first inning, and they get themselves a 3-0 lead. Also credit to the Sosa play shortstop that should have ended the inning and made it a 2-0 game instead of 3-0. But overall, you just... it wasn't your night. It just wasn't your night. A lot of the luck went towards the Astros' way. This game, the luck did not go towards your way. It's like, seriously, when you look at that Kyle Schwarber bat, that can really show you that the luck was not in your favor, and the baseball gods were not in your favor tonight. And yeah, it's when you go down 5-0 2 times in a row, you're not going to come back both times. Yesterday was bearing a miracle, and you've found a way to do it. You weren't going to do it 2 nights in a row. So that goes to the starting pitching. You got to shut the Astros down to let your offense get into the game so they can probably score first and they can take over the game. Aaron Nola, Zack Wheeler, you can't let the Astros do that. You can't let them jump all over you so early in the game. You got to get allow your offense. You're putting your offense down in these major holes, and they're not always going to come out of it. They're just not. You need to have a good amount of shutdown innings here to gradually get your offense into the game. And if they take the lead, then it's your turn to shut the team down for basically the entire game. It's got to happen. It just does. Framber was nasty. Like, Valdez was nasty on the mound for the Astros. The curveball was electric. Everything there. Phillies had trouble timing the curveball up. So he was nasty. How many Ks did he have? He had like 8-9 Ks in this game, Framber Valdez. Yeah, 6 in the third innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts. The Phillies, basically, through the entirety of Valdez's start, mainly, they barely got a guy past second base. Overall, the Phillies were over 7 with runners in scoring position in this game. That didn't come till later when the Astros brought the bullpen out. And they had their chances in this game, definitely later on. They get their chances, they get some leadoff runners here and there, then double play happens. You get a situation where, what was it? It was 2 leadoff guys on base. JT strikes out, then Bryce Harper grabs into a double play. I believe that was an inning where Schwarber walked, and then Rhys got a single, and then JT and Bryce get out in the next 2 bats. So that definitely was a momentum killer there, a rally killer. Castellanos had a couple of good swings in this game. Bohm had a couple of good swings. Segura, it's at the, like, when Stock comes into the game, pinch hitting for Sosa, dude automatically has a 12-pitch at bat for a walk. Like, that should just prove you there that Bryce and Stott should be in the lineup every single game. I understand the whole lefty situation. You want, the righty-lefty matchup and everything like that. Bryce and Stott should be in the lineup every day. It's just bottom line. And for Sosa, that he's like a defensive guru and everything like that, he makes some egregious plays there at shortstop, not going to lie. He makes some bad plays. He does. For as good as his glove is, he makes some poor plays. Like, seriously, Alec Bohm outshined him today. Alec Bohm made some fantastic plays over at third base. Honestly, in these 2 games. These first 2 games, Alec Bohm has been great over at third base. So, that's got to stop. But I guess it also fits the pattern. Every series so far, besides the wild card round, you won game 1, you lost game 2. And then you go back to Philadelphia. So that's basically how the DS worked, it's the NLCS worked, and now the World Series. So basically, you've done your job in every single series so far. You split the first 2 games on the road to set yourself for home field advantage. And now you're asking your pitchers now, because this is where the rotation depth goes in the favor of the Astros, to where you got what? Yeah, here we go. They just said it right here on postgame. Oh, Syndergaard's starting on game 3. That's interesting. And then Suarez is starting game 4. So, wow. You're saying, so Syndergaard's going game 3. Suarez is game 4. That's interesting. You're going to ask a lot of Syndergaard on Monday. That's a tough task for Syndergaard. I know he has World Series experience, but he's not the same Syndergaard. I know he had that good performance against the Braves in Game 4, and he had some good bullpen appearances against the Padres. You're playing with fire there, though. You definitely are. I'd be more comfortable with Syndergaard going in a Game 4 when you're up 2-1, rather than going into a Game 3 tied 1-1. Ask a lot of your offense in that game, though. Offense, these 3 games, honestly. Your offense in these next 3 games in Philly gotta win the games. They do. Because, honestly, it's more important in games 3 and 4 for your offense to win it, because you do have Aaron Nola in game 5 right now. I'm still nervous about Aaron Nola with the way his last 2 starts have been. But still, it's Aaron Nola. And you gotta give him that respect. Your offense needs to win game 3 and 4. Ranger Suarez pushed back to Tuesday. So that's something there. I just literally saw it right on postgame live. I'm like thinking to myself, Rangers probably going Monday. And nope, I see the graphic on the screen in front of me. That Rangers going on Tuesday. Syndergaard's going in game 3. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. Not sure how I feel about that, honestly. Was game 1 too much for Ranger? Is this just I'm not sure. Not sure. But game 3 is mandatory. You got to win game 3. Got to win game 3. It's really important. Your offense has to win it, though. Your offense really has to win it. So if we're looking at game 3 right now, I would assume, so it's Syndergaard. I would assume, does McCullers go game 3 for the Astros, or who else is in the Astros rotation? Let me look at their rotation again, what they've done in the playoffs so far. Who pitched game 3 for them in the Yankees series? Who pitched game 3? It was Javier. So it's either McCullers or Christian Javier that's going to be pitching. And Javier, in his postseason starts, he went 1 inning against the Seattle. Did he start that game? It doesn't look like he started that game. Unless that was just a bullpen appearance. Yeah, which game was that? And that was the first game. Okay, that was the game Verlander started, so he came out of the bullpen there. So that's interesting. It's either McCullers or Javier. I would assume more McCullers at this point than maybe Javier in game 4. So basically, that's bottom line there. That's weird. It's definitely weird. I don't know. I still just find it odd Syndergaard going game 3. But at the end of the day, you still just got to get the job done. This team feeds off the home crowd at Citizens Bank Park. I would have felt much better going into the Citizens Bank Park up 2-0, even though it was a tough task against the Astros to even win 2 on the road, because they are the Houston Astros. They're a juggernaut for a reason. But it still very concerns me that your 2 top guns in the rotation got knocked around. And it was a tough task for the offense to come back from 2 5-0 deficits. Still, as show for the offense, they did show fight. Just wasn't their night. The luck just didn't go their way. Like, seriously, if you look at that Kyle Schwarber at bat, that tells you basically everything for the Phillies offense tonight. So, I guess because Bailey Falter's not on the roster, really, you don't go Kyle Gibson because you just don't trust Kyle Gibson. Thor's the next best guy, I guess. That shows the lack of your rotation depth at this point. It really does. I really wish we can, like... I really wish we could put, like, Andrew Painter under Bailey Falter's name for the roster and throw Andrew Painter out there for Game 3. There you go, Astros. Throw out against our number 1 prospect, making his Major League debut Game 3 of the World Series. Like, I'd be more comfortable with that, honestly, than Syndergaard. But at this point, this is not me panicking. This is just me overanalyzing everything and just looking everything at face value. Like, I'm not panicked at all. I do have full confidence in this team coming back home and playing great in front of the fans. I do, because they've done that all postseason. It's just that right now, I would have felt more confident, because the reason why I have this, like, creeping thing in my mind is just because of Aaron Nola and Zack Wheeler in Game 1 and 2. That's basically what it's been. Because right now I'm losing trust in Nola. And with Zack Wheeler, I think the knee is becoming an issue with him. The liner that he took in Game 5 against the Padres. I think that's starting, become more of a concern than they're letting on. Ugh. But they did do what they asked of it. They've done that basically every series so far. Split the first 2 games. And they bring it back home. Let's see if they can do it again. Let's see if they got more in the tank. Personally, I always thought this was a 6-7 game series, even though I did make predictions. I always thought this was a 6-7 game series. But we don't know. We don't know what the magic of Citizens Bank Park is going to have for this team. We don't know. They've shown that magic basically all postseason. After a tough Game 2 against Atlanta, where they got shut out, they came back in Game 3 and 4 and obliterated the Braves. After a tough Game 2 loss against the Padres after blowing a 4-0 lead, you played 3 great games in Citizens Bank Park. Game 3 against Musgrove, you find a way to win that close one. In a bullpen game, when you go down 4-0, you find a way to score 10 runs and win that game. And then Game 5, when the Padres take the lead late in the rain, Bryce Harper comes up with the best swing of his life. So that's why I still, there's no doubt creeping in my mind whatsoever. That's not what I'm saying. It's just like right now where I'm analyzing everything and everything like that, just thinking about all the possible, things and factors that can go into these games. We got to see what happens. The one thing with the Astros, that it's Altuve got 3 hits. He's been struggling all postseason, and this is his first, I think, multi-hit game of the entire postseason. So that kind of scares me a little bit that they let Altuve get hot in this game. Hopefully with the day off, that cools him off a little bit. So that kind of concerns me a little bit. But if you're looking at the entire Astros lineup with this game, the bottom of the lineup did nothing. Tucker, I know Gurriel had the thing with the Sosa error, but he went 0 for 4. Diaz 0 for 4. McCormick went 1 for 2 with a walk. Maldonado 0 for 3. It was their top of the lineup that did all the damage in this game. Altuve had 3 hits. Pena 1 for 4 with an RBI. Alvarez 1 for 4 with an RBI and a walk. And then Bregman 1 for 4 with a 2-run shot. So their bottom of the lineup has been doing nothing. You got to find a way to shut the top of the lineup down. Mainly right now, Altuve, Bregman, and all that stuff. Looking at the Phillies lineup today, Schwarber 1 for 3 with a walk. Barely missed a home run twice in the same at bat. Seriously, what are the odds of that happening? Rhys 1 for 3. Hopefully, Rhys can find his magic back in Citizens Bank Park again with a walk as well. JT 1 for 4. Bryce 0 for 4. So this is the first, hitless game that Bryce has had since game 1 of the wild card series against St. Louis. So Bryce in this game showed that he was human, but I'm not concerned about Bryce at all. I think he'll find the magic again to the Bank Park. It's just that Framber was that nasty. Nick Castellanos went 1 for 4 in this game. He had a nice double, actually. Alec Boehm 1 for 3. He had a nice double. Gene Segura 1 for 3 with an RBI. Matt Vierling 0 for 2. Marsh technically he got the play where Gurriel booted it in the 9th inning, which allowed a run to score. So he technically got on second base. So there you go. Sosa over 2. Bryson Stott went over 1, but he had a 12-pitch walk. So that basically proves you how beneficial Stott is to the lineup and how he can really grind out at bats and really get pitchers frustrated. So you still showed fight. I'm not concerned with the lineup at all. Nowhere close to concerned with the lineup at all. It's your 2 top guys in the rotation. That's my biggest concern. That's where all my concerns lie at, is Aaron Nola and Zack Wheeler. And now when you're going into Philadelphia, that's where really the depth of the rotation is going to show more for the Astros than it does for the Phillies. Because now it's Syndergaard starting game 3. You're really asking for the bullpen to do a lot that game because Syndergaard, he's probably not going to go more than 3 innings if he even is on his game. He did the same thing, he went once for the lineup against the Braves, allowed 1 run. Is that basically what he's going to do in that game as well? Just go once for the lineup and then you ask for the bullpen to do a lot? The bullpen has looked very nice in these first 2 games, so can that carry over into game 3 and the rest of the series in Philadelphia? So that's something to look at too. It's just really, it's Zack Wheeler and Aaron Nola. That's my biggest concerns. Those are my 2 biggest concerns overall. That's where, the worrying comes in overall from this entire thing. It's Zack Wheeler and Aaron Nola. I really think with Zack Wheeler, I think it's the knee. I think it's the knee with the liner he took against San Diego. That's what I think overall. Overall, that's what I think. But we all know this series was not going to be easy. You're going up against a juggernaut of the American League. A team that has been to at least the ALCS for the past 6 seasons. Been to the World Series in 4 of those 6. I know they lost a couple of World Series. I know they have the whole cheater thing lingering over their head. It's still a tough team. Still a tough team. They're going to be a tough out. Make a statement in Citizens Bank Park like you've done in every single time you came back home. Make another statement. You showed in these 2 games from the lineup-wise that you're still not going to die. You're going to be in the game regardless. You're going to grind at bats out. You're going to find a way to chip into the game. This game, sadly, the luck just wasn't on your side. You're not always going to come back down from 5-0. That's just not going to happen. But your starting pitchers need to shut Houston down for a little bit to get to the bullpen, and then your offense does the job. That's what you need to do. And can Citizens Bank Park provide that magic? Possibly. It's been doing that all year. Well, doing that all playoff. And is it going to die? I don't think it's going to die. I think this team feeds off the home crowd. That loud, extreme, electric Citizens Bank Park atmosphere. 45,000 plus sold out crowd, especially in World Series atmosphere, and especially when you're playing the Houston Astros, where the Phillies fans have a lot of ammunition used against them. It's going to be a hell of an atmosphere. And are the Astros going to be prepared for that? I know they're going to say, we played in extreme atmospheres before. We played in Yankee Stadium and all that stuff. Yankee Stadium in the ALCS was dead. So, they haven't played in Philadelphia yet. Snicker tried to say the same thing for the Braves. Going into Philadelphia, it was going to be, just another road game. Just another road game. Still very confident in this team. Still very confident. Still very. San Diego had a bunch of depth in their rotation and bullpen. Phillies found a way to get to them. I think they can do the same thing to this Astros team. Just keep doubting the Phillies. The Phillies roll on the doubt. They feed off of it. Keep doubting them. Keep doubting them. And they'll make you pay. Especially when you're going into Citizens Bank Park. So let's see what this has. We do have a voicemail here on the hotline. If you want to leave a voicemail or anything like that, 215-839-9885 is the hotline to use. And if you do leave a text message or a voicemail, leave your name just so I can save that contact for a future use, for a future stream or anything like that. So that's definitely something there for you to use. You can also utilize the YouTube live feed. It's basically your preference at this point. I'm just giving you some options. So we got a call here, voicemail from Sean once again. So let's see what he has to say about tonight.
Tough one tonight, Amadeo. A couple things to point out here that are a little concerning to me. Number one, you've had your two big starters take the mound the first two games of this series, and both have been shellacked. I think with Wheeler tonight, that third run that came across on the error was so critical, but Wheeler just didn't have it tonight, and Nola didn't have it last night. Has to be better with Ranger Suarez starting in Game 3. Number two, Altuve is getting hot, and that's a concern because that guy puts together hits in bunches. For the first time, I'd say the baseball gods were not on the Phillies side tonight. You had at least 4 balls that would have been home runs in Philadelphia that died up against the wall or off the wall. But at the end of the day, again, you did what you ultimately had to do. You got the one win in Houston that you needed. Now you have to hold serve at home. You don't want to go back to Houston. You don't want to go back to Minute Maid Park. Win the world title in Philly, starting with Game 3. Get a win there. But again, it's got to be better from Ranger Suarez. We need him to pitch well and to go deep into the ballgame.
Yeah, you're exactly right there, Sean. I know. I just saw your comment right there. You left it before the entire Ranger and Syndergaard were announced for games 3 and 4 and all that stuff. So that's definitely understandable at that point. But yeah, you brought up on all the points. Nola, Wheeler, they got shellacked in these 2 games. You managed to win one. You basically did the job you had to do, was split the road games. It would have been nice going back home with a 2-0 series lead, but especially against the Astros, that's a tall, tough task to ask. But your starters, your top 2 guys, didn't get the job done. Okay, and it looks like Lance McCullers is the guy for Game 3 for the Astros. He has not recorded the decision this postseason. He has a 2.45 ERA in 11 innings pitched, 13 strikeouts, and 3 walks for Syndergaard. But yeah, the luck wasn't there on the Phillies side in this game, especially on the offensive side. Like I said, every time, look at that Schwarber at bat. That just proves it to you right there. But Aaron Nola, Zack Wheeler, those are the guys that provide the concerns. That really just is. Aaron Nola's going to get a second crack in Game 5. Is he going to be better? Is he going to get, a little bit more energy from the Philadelphia crowd? And now that determines of, what the situation is going into Game 5. Game 3 is insanely important. It's insanely important. Like you said, Sean, you don't want to go back to Houston, even though I do think this series goes back to Houston Game 6 or 7. It's one of those 2. I just feel like overall it's going to go back there. But I've been proven wrong before. I have. We've seen this team throughout and through, find ways to bring the magic back home. And they've done it in every series so far, basically. They lose Game 2, they lose Game 2, they lose Game 2, win Game 1, win Game 1, win Game 1. They split going back to Philly. And then they find the magic at home. They feed off the crowd. They find their magic. The team, the team feeds into that, fuels them. Will that happen again? I think it can. I absolutely think it can. Big balls from Syndergaard. We need big balls from Syndergaard on Monday. Need big balls. Because most likely it's going to be the same thing like he did against the Braves. One time through the lineup, then you go to the bullpen. Does Kyle Gibson get a crack? I don't know. I don't think so. I hope not. But you're going to be seeing, Bilotti, Brogdon, most likely, Hand, a lot of the guys in the bullpen you're going to be seeing on Monday. So that's going to be A major win. Your offense really needs to show up on Monday. Well, I wouldn't even say show. Like, your offense needs to win you the game. I felt like the offense overall has shown fight in these two games, especially today and yesterday. So, your offense needs to find a way to get it, to Lance McCullers. You beat Lance McCullers when you clinched the wild card spot. So there you go. I see Sean saying activate Andrew Painter. I wish we could. Wish we could activate Painter. I wish we could activate Abel. All that stuff. That'd be a nice, wild card thrown there for the Astros. That'd be nice to see. But yeah, it's really to it at that point. You got to go and get the job done. You got to win game 3. It's the most important game of your life. Most important game of your lives. And I think this team's going to be ready for it. That crowd's going to be rocking. Halloween night. Magic in the air, possibly. Maybe it could be a nightmare for the Astros. Their worst Halloween ever. But I'm not going to step too far there. One day at a time. Day off tomorrow. Eagles do play tomorrow afternoon against the Steelers. So we will be here tomorrow afternoon recapping that game. You get a day off tomorrow. And you're back at them on Monday night. Same time as the past 2 games. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You've shown us that you're unstoppable at home. Find a way to do it again. Find a way to build that magic up. Don't think this team is worried at all. They still believe in themselves. Rob Thompson sparks that belief. Kyle Schwarber's the leader. Bryce Harper, I'm not worried about this game. Definitely not. But Stott and Marsh, they need to be in the lineup. I don't think, I don't think you see a left-hander in this series, most likely until you face Valdez again, if that's the case. But I think if you face Valdez again, I don't think he goes Sosa Violing again. I think Stott and Marsh stay in the lineup at this point. But you got to do the job at home. It's going to be a tough task. Houston, they're an 106-win team for a reason. But you done the job against an 100-plus win at Braves team. You did the job against the Padres team who was hot and they beat the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now it's your job to beat the best team in the American League, the Houston Astros. A team that has been to at least the ALCS for the past 6 seasons. At home. Where the lights shine bright. You did the job in the first 2 games, basically, of what we asked, to split those first 2, to get yourselves home field advantage coming back home. Monday night. Now it's your job to go and find a way to win 3 games at home. And find a way. It starts Monday. Thor on the mound. Your bullpen's going to be asking a lot of you. But you got to do the job. The bullpen has been a bright spot from the pitching staff in these first 2 games. They've done their job. Aaron Nola, Zack Wheeler, concerning. It really is. Aaron Nola's going to have his second crack in Game 5, most likely. You got to see how he rebounds from that. But still looking a little too far. Primary focus, Noah Syndergaard, Lance McCullers, Monday night Halloween in Citizens Bank Park. Offense has to win that game. Offense has to find a way to get the Lance McCullers. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. So let's look at the YouTube feed here. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Because if you're looking at the Astros, honestly, McCullers, Game 3, then what? Javier, Game 4, or do they roll Garcia? Yeah, that's where the depth comes in. Do they even consider throwing Justin Verlander in a Game 5 against Aaron Nola for that rematch? So there's some question marks there, definitely. So let's go back to the YouTube section. A whole lot of fishy business occurring tonight, but I'm not saying anything until something is proven. Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of that stuff on Twitter. I think with the whole Valdez stuff, I think it was just sweat that he was using. That's all. I know there's a lot of people trying to say, oh, the spin rate and all that stuff was up and over average and everything like that. Until something's proven, I'm not gonna believe it. Stop platooning. They don't win when Stott and Marsh don't play. Yeah, you gotta stop doing that. Honestly, nothing was really going our way, so that didn't help. Yeah. Offense needs to win this. Really concerned, but the starting pitching is in trouble. Yeah. Zack Wheeler and Aaron Nola, concerning. Ranger, game 4, needs to pitch the game of his life. Thor in the bullpen need to really step up on Monday. If I'm being real, I'd be happy if we win game 3 and 5 just so we don't have 2 chances in Houston, but I don't see this Houston team going down easily in Philadelphia. Just have to wait and see how they handle the Philadelphia atmosphere. Think the Phillies will win it in 6. Like the optimism there. But that does mean you have to go back to Houston. Julian, sweep at home. This Houston organization is bad news. It's unbelievable players have no problem cheating. Bryce has also been too quiet. Well, he did get 2 hits yesterday, I believe, didn't he? Or was it 1 hit? It was 2 or 1 hit, I believe. He did get a hit yesterday, I know that. Harper. Okay, he did have 1. Yeah, no, he went 2 for 4 yesterday. Framber was just too nasty there, I think. I'm not worried about Harper at all. Valdez pitched fantastic. Valdez was nasty. 3 game 2s just completely flat. Well, that's been the pattern. They've won game 1s, they lose game 2s. So that's the pattern overall. Stott worked an absurd amount of pitches. Oh yeah, Stott has amazing at bats. He needs to be in the lineup every day. Who do you guys winning in the World Series? I got Phillies in 6. Sean says Astros in 6. Oh, Sean. Syndergaard dangerous. I would have started Suarez. Yeah, I could understand the concern there. Well, since Syndergaard is pitching, he better go deep. No 3-inning BS unless he's cooked, of course. He's not going to go deep into the game. That's not how it works. Stott is just proving to me every at-bat is why I should get his jersey. I just don't like the prospect of Syndergaard with this noodle arm against the Astros lineup. Imagine if Syndergaard goes into the game and he somehow finds his old form of 99 to 100. That's not going to happen. Don't bet me on that. It's not going to happen at all. Just imagine. It's Halloween night, anything could happen. McCullers, yeah, I think it's going to be McCullers, most likely. Offense has to do what they've done at home. Basically. Every game at home, offense has shown up basically. Yep, I've been a big Thor supporter. I wanted him to start over Falter before. Game 2 is always a nuisance for some reason. Phillies need to win Monday night. Need innings from Noah. Can't blow the whole bullpen in one game. Yeah, because it's not guaranteed Ranger goes deep into the game either. Personally, as sick as it sounds, I'd rather put Andrew Painter out there in game 3. Don't trust Nola anymore. Understandable. He's caused for concerns in the last 2 starts. We wanted at least a split in mission accomplished. Bring it home. Like that attitude. We got this. I like that attitude as well. BB gods aren't going to allow Houston to win. There's just a bunch of slimy players still there. Have to score first in game 3 early and often. Can't keep overcoming deficits. Houston is too good. Yeah, you can't keep going down with these deficits. You're not going to come back from 5-0 every game. That's why that not many teams win from down 5-0 in the World Series. That's why it's a rare occurrence. You weren't going to do that 2 nights in a row. Kyle's last at bat was so suspenseful. A foul home run and a fly out of the warning track. I was standing up and jumping around the whole time. Yeah, seriously. I heard my dad downstairs saying, go, 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 go. And I'm like, yeah. And then at like 2 seconds later, I see Kyle Tucker catch it. I'm like, fuck you. That's what I'm here. That's what I did. Oh, boy. You shouldn't even be here. You got the split. Be happy. Just see knowing regardless of what happens, this is a big win for Philadelphia. Props to our bullpen tonight. Have done great so far in the series. Exactly. Not scoring first has to happen. When they're winning games, they usually score first. We heard the same thing with San Diego. All this depth in the pitching. I'm not worried about how Houston's pitching on the road. Houston hasn't played in Philly since they cheated. Fuck Altuve. I thought the ball Segura hit. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Segura sack fly too. Like seriously, if Segura hits that a little earlier, that's landing in the Crawford boxes. If Segura times that a little earlier, because seriously, the ball was just like right there, and of course it like goes right by the Crawford boxes and into the deepest part of the park. Of course. Screwed, activate Painter. Gotta win game 3, avoid through 5, avoid Minute Maid Park. I really think Marsh and Stott leave them in, please. Sosa is a horror show in the field. In Vierling, I mean, he's an okay player, but rather have Marsh. I agree. I definitely agree with that. Oh my god. Syndergaard pumping out triple digits. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. That is not gonna happen at all. That is nowhere near gonna happen. Nowhere near. Nowhere near gonna happen. But, and again, it's Halloween night. Do people call Halloween night Mischief Night, or is that some other day? Sean, would you know that? If you're still in the chat, would you? Is there like a day that's like, is Halloween night Mischief Night, or is that some other day like near Halloween? Mischief Night. What day is? I don't know why I'm looking this up now, but okay, it's the night before Halloween. Okay, why the night before Halloween? That doesn't make sense. So All Hallows Eve. I don't know. Because it's called Devil's Night. Okay. Okay. So you got Eagles tomorrow, day before Halloween, tomorrow afternoon against the Steelers. Then you got 3 days in a row with Phillies at home. Let's look at the weather actually for this week, because I do remember seeing rain on the forecast at some point. I gotta check that out before we end it off here. Let me look at the stuff. Let me look at the weather for the upcoming week. I know, I think it was like Monday night or something like that. It was gonna rain in a Tuesday night, in a Tuesday morning. Let me just double check with the weather. So we got, it's gonna be surprisingly warm. 65 on Monday, cloudy during the afternoon. Monday night, overcast with rain showers at times, low near 60 degrees, wind 5 miles to 10 miles an hour, chance of rain 60%. Hopefully that's like an overnight thing and not during the game. And then Tuesday, rain showers early, overcast skies later, then nighttime, 54 degrees, sunny or cloudy, all that stuff. Wednesday, 71, mostly sunny, then during the night, 50 degrees. So the weather, hopefully with the rain on Monday night and Tuesday, hopefully that's like a Monday night / Tuesday morning thing into the, all that stuff. I want to see Hector Neris get rocked in Philly. Oh god. I want to see if you get rocked. I like that attitude there, Sean. I like that attitude. But yeah. Biggest concerns overall is Aaron Nola and Zack Wheeler. Like, that's where my concerns lie. It is right now. Because so far in these 2 games, the bullpen has showed me they can be good. Like, really good in these first 2 games. If David Robertson had that scare. But the bullpen has shown good signs. Even today, Bilotti, Brogdon, and Hand, like they had some solid innings. Then offense, they continue to show they're going to fight till the very end. So I think that's a positive you got to take from these 2 games, especially from game 1. Coming back down from 5-0 to win that game in extras. And especially, like, they just didn't die. They put together good at bats, especially against the bullpen. They found a way to get a run off Presley to make it 5-2. Just, there were some instances where, the luck wasn't there. The luck wasn't on their side. Kyle Schwarber at bat. Everything. Gene Segura's, if he times it a little earlier, that goes into the Crawford boxes. So, some things just didn't go your way today. And some other things went the Astros' way. Baseball works in weird ways sometimes. But now, you technically did what we asked you of and split the games in Houston. Split the first 2. 1-1. Tied series. Go into game 3 in Philadelphia. Now it's the best of 5 series, technically. So, continue to do what you keep doing in Philly. What you've been doing this entire playoff run. Super important start for Thor, though. I wasn't expecting Thor to get the job on Monday. But now Rangers going game 4. Syndergaard, game 3. Halloween night. Really important. I don't think he's going to go deep into the game because that's just not what they've been doing unless Rob tries to do it. If Syndergaard is going good, maybe he tries to stretch it 4 innings or 5 if he's really going good and getting quick outs. But I would expect the bullpen to be, relied upon heavily. And your offense has to get the job done. I'm not concerned about the offense against the Astros pitching. They're finding ways to fight. They're putting up good at-bats. I think the most important thing is your starting pitching has to keep the Astros in check. You can't be going down in these deficits. You can't be going down 5-0 every time. I would like you to score first this time. Get a nice solid inning. First inning, 1, 2, 3 from Syndergaard. Game 3. And then light the ballpark on fire in the first inning. Light it on fire. Go up on a couple of runs. And continue to do it the rest of the night. And do that with games 4 and 5. So, not worried. Just concerned about a little details here. Major details, honestly, with Wheeler and Nola. Those are my major concerns. Not concerned with the offense. Not concerned right now with the bullpen because they have been sharp in these 2 games. But who knows? Just gotta wait and see what happens. So, it's going to do it for tonight, everyone. Thank you for joining this stream as always. So do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. Don't forget to check out everything in the description down below. Painted Lines, BrodesMedia. Recommend all of that. Same thing with hitting the subscribe button. It goes a very long way. Join the TTP Sports family. It'll do me a lot of good. And also use the code TTP Sports, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Use it for anything you can think of as a great deal. Do not pass that up. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining tonight's stream. World Series is tied at 1 game apiece. Now going back to Philly, Monday night, Halloween, for game 3. Wait and see what happens. For now,